celebrating 40 years of the Astra from Vauxhall. Welcome to Winter Wonderland, and we're here with Santa's sleigh.
Annabelle, this is red, yes, but this is, I think, where the similarities end.
It's festive!
It is the new facelifted Astra. Granted, it's not a completely new car, but as we know, Vauxhall was purchased by PSA. So we're likely to see a brand new one in around 2 years.
This model is the 1.2 litre turbo petrol and is the Elite Nav hatchback, coupled with a 6-speed manual gearbox.
But you can get other engines and gearboxes. You can even get different outputs for this engine, and believe it or not, this tops out at 137 miles an hour, which is absolutely staggering, and pulls 0 to 60 in about 8.8.
That, I would say, is easily fast enough for Santa on his night off.
And he'll still get 50 to the gallon as well. That's the thing about the new Astra. It's had weight reduction. It's even more efficient as well. They've reduced drag.
The Astra range has prices that start at just under £19,000. This one with options is just over 26, which includes this hot red metallic paint.
Speaking of that, I'll be looking at the exterior and the styling.
I'll be looking at the interior, the practicality and the functionality.
And then we'll both drive it.
And then we'll bring you the verdict on whether or not this is the car for you.
Please give the video a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. It all does help, and it means that we can bring you more and more cars. We've got everything on the channel from projects through to road trips. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
At the front of the Astra, not that much has changed, but this is a facelift model. Expect a new model in around 2 years, and that'll be on a PSA platform. I love the sculpting on the lenses. It's an interesting style with the grille as well. It's got like rounded hexagonal styling. Very cool. Big Vauxhall badge and chrome. This is very reminiscent of the brand. I love the chrome styling below the fog lamps. Behind here, Vauxhall have come up with a rather clever idea. There's flaps that close to reduce CO2 and make it more efficient. And it's lighter. When it comes to tech on this car, we have the Elite Nav, which means we get LED headlamps and rain sensing wipers. Depending on which model you get, depends on what features are on the car. Our model has an intelligent camera that does things like gauge the distance between the vehicle in front and collision warning. You also have fog lamps, LED daytime running lights, and don't forget parking sensors. Stepping around to the side of the car, you're immediately met with 17-inch alloy wheels. You can get other sizes. This tyre is between low profile and high profile, which means it gives you a nice mix of comfort and engaging driving. You can see this is the Elite model. One thing that stands out to me on the Astra is this panel. There's no line down the middle and it just looks very clean. You don't have power folding door mirrors, but they are electrically adjusted, heated, and you can get blind spot detection too. Our model doesn't have keyless entry, but it is available. You also have black gloss B-pillars, chrome strip. One design feature that appeals to me is this black gloss. It matches the rear spoiler. You also have all-round disc brakes with the front being vented. And one thing that I really do like about the Astra is the fact that it can have 4 doors and still look sporty. Some cars just can't really do it, but this works very well. Stepping around to the rear of the Astra, I love the sculpting on these rear lenses. You're reminded it's the Astra, and just under here is where you release the boot. I love the colour-coded red bumper and the black accent around it. It just gives it a nice sporty look. Got a high-level brake light, in a rear spoiler, and the black gloss that I was talking about before. You also have rear parking sensors. A camera is available, and it's finished off with a shark fin aerial.
As you can see, today is one of those days. Dealing with a long-term disability, you get good days and bad days. Today, a little bit more of a challenge. So let's see how easy it is to get into the Vauxhall Astra Elite now. Okay. Nice wide opening doors. Compared to other family hatchbacks, it is quite a high ride height, so I'm going to see how easy it is to get in. Okay, no grab handle above the driver's door, so we'll just take this nice and slow. The backs of my legs are now right against the sill of the car, and I'm just going to feel around and lower myself in slowly. Okay, remember to watch the back of your head as you manoeuvre yourself in. was relatively easy. There were lots of places to hold on to. I must say though, a grab handle above the driver's door would have made that a little easier for me. But in terms of everyone's mobility challenges, you find your own way. That was relatively easy for me to get in. Please bear in mind though that the challenges I faced getting in are to do with my mobility and not with the car. And don't forget, if you do have any aids, make sure you bring them into the car before you shut the door. And once you're inside the Astra, it's a very comfortable place to be. The two front seats are buckety, which means they hold you very well. It's comfortable. There's lots of premium material, including the front seats, which have this nice white stitching all around. There's a mixture of materials in here. It depends on where you touch. A mix of soft and hard touch. For instance, soft touch here. The handle is hard touch, but it has a very nice satiny feel, which I like. It's got a leather wrapped steering wheel. One thing I've not seen for a while is it's not flat bottomed. You've got soft touch plastics here on the dash. Underneath you've got a nice sized infotainment screen and a 6-speed manual gearbox. When it comes to tech on this car, you've got all round electric windows, electrically operated door mirrors. They're not power folding. They are however heated and you can get blind spot detection. There is no keyless go, however that is an option that's available. This car comes with cruise control and you can operate it on the steering wheel, which is here on the left. And on the right you have your media options. You can also control your fuel computer. When it comes to the cluster, you've got very clear dials with your speed in the middle. This car comes with automatic LED headlamps and rain sensing wipers. You've got a nice size infotainment screen. It comes with Sat Nav, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, DAB and Sat Nav. You can also change some of the car settings in it and you have shortcut buttons underneath. Underneath you have your dual zone digital climate control and the temperature is actually displayed in the buttons here, which is a nice feature, and you have shortcut buttons. You've got a cubby hole underneath that. This model does come with a heated windscreen. It is an optional extra and it costs £320. You've also got shortcut buttons underneath this little cubby hole, including lane keep assist. You can turn your start stop function off as well as some other functions. 6-speed manual gearbox. One thing to note on this model, we don't have a reversing camera, although it does come with front and rear parking sensors, which is an optional extra at a cost of £480. When it comes to practicality, as you can see, I have plenty of headroom and lots of legroom. This seat, however, is set up for Ben and he is 6'3". I'm a little bit shorter at 5'3". The seats are all manually operated, but it does come with electrically operated lumbar support. The driving position is also very comfortable. You have a padded armrest on the door, as well as the centre rest, which is big enough for you and your front passenger. There's also a footrest on the left. The steering wheel also comes with reach and rake adjustment. When it comes to storage, you have a decent sized door bin. You have 2 cup holders in the centre and this little cubby above your gearbox. You have a centre rest and a decent sized glove box. Let's see how easy it is to get into the back. Quite wide opening doors. They could do with opening up a little bit wider. Some cars have back doors that open almost to a 90-degree angle. These don't, but however there is still quite a good gap. Now I'm just going to see. Now there is a grab handle on this one, so that will help. Again, I've put the backs of my legs against the sill and I'm just going to lower myself down. Again, minding your head. And I'm going to use the grab handle. That was nice and easy. And I'm in. And once you're in the back, it's a very comfy place to be. You're very well supported. You've got the premium material in the back that you have in the front. You have a space under the front seats to plant your feet so you can actually stretch a bit. You've also got a padded armrest in the pull down here that you can share with the back passenger. Mind you, no cup holders though. There is no privacy glass in the back, which makes it light and airy. And as you can see, I have plenty of headroom. The sloping roofline doesn't affect me. However, if you are taller, you may need to just settle down into the seat a little. When it comes to passengers, 2 adults, very comfortable for long or short journeys, 3 for a short journey. Children, no problem at all. You have ISOFIX points on the back of the seats and you've got airbags surrounding. My favourite function for the entire vehicle is the fact that both these rear seats are heated and the buttons are just here, and underneath that you have 2 USB ports. You also have 2 reading lights above you. You've got map pockets on the back of both seats and slightly smaller door pockets on either side. You also have electrically operated windows. This door panel and the armrest is padded too. It is surrounded by hard touch plastic, but it's very nice quality. When it comes to the boot, you unlock it using the key fob, you press it twice. The release is just under the badge. It does have a boot lip, but it's not the biggest I've seen, and it's a nice square space, giving you 370 litres. The boot also comes with 5 tethering points. You also have 40-40-20 rear folding seats, which means you can drop the centre for things like skis. Underneath the false floor, you have a space saver spare wheel. You can get a full-size steel one as an optional extra. There's also a boot light on the right-hand side.
Welcome to the new Astra. This is the Mark 7 and we're in the 1.2 and this is a facelift.
Ben, can you believe it? The Vauxhall Astra is 40 years old.
I know, and it still keeps the original name. How many cars have done that when you think about it? I think Golf, Polo.
Yeah. Not many at all.
It's powered by a 1.2 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine. It's got 145 brake horsepower and it'll pull 0 to 60 in about 8.8. And the thing that will completely astound you is it's got a top speed of 137 miles per hour.
Crazy but true.
Well,
it's madness, but
to get that back in the 90s, you had to have at least a 2 litre, didn't you?
You did. To do it with a 1.2 with a 3-cylinder nowadays just shows how much advancements have been made.
Well, exactly, that's it. This is also coupled to a 6-speed manual gearbox. It's got start-stop. It doesn't have any driving modes, but it is extremely well planted.
Yeah.
Let me demonstrate. Gotta wait for the cars to leave.
It's peppy. There's power behind every gear, isn't there?
That's the turbocharger for you though, isn't it?
Exactly.
One thing to note is if you are in the wrong gear and you put your foot down, you will get a slight bit of turbo lag, but that's to be expected. The only way to eliminate that likely is to put 2 really baby turbos on.
Baby turbos. Aww. Sorry. So I'm in my baby Yoda phase at the moment.
The suspension's very comfortable. The one thing we did notice last night, mind you, we were at higher motorway speeds and there were weather warnings across the country, especially up in the northwest, because we were coming up the M6 and the limit was down to 40 miles an hour at Thelwall.
It's gale force winds, people. Gale force winds. And we didn't really have too much of a problem getting through it, did we?
No, it was fine.
We could feel it.
The wagons were literally going all over the shop, weren't they? But this held it well. How many miles have we done in this car around about?
700?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I was going to say it's easily over 6.
We've been down to Farnborough, then we went to Guildford, then we went to Dunsfold. The engine's very peppy. You can outperform quite a few cars in this and they don't kind of expect it. Mind you, there's no badges on the back that tell you what size the engine is or anything. It just merely says Astra. Put me behind the wheel of any car and I will show you the performance side. Economy, not so much. Saying that, we've been getting 45.5 to the gallon. This claims 51, and you have to bear in mind it's 45 with the way I drive.
And as an average for you, that Mr. Leadfoot, yeah, it's brilliant.
Well, exactly.
I think it's really good.
So we can jump the bridge. That's a joke.
Whee!
It's nice and well planted, doesn't it?
It does. As a passenger, it's very comfortable, especially on long journeys. You've got all of the mod cons, including seat heating, sat nav, great sound system.
As I mentioned, it's got a 6-speed gearbox. It's quite a short shifter as well. Feels very solid, fluidity through the gears, and the gear changes are not notchy. So all in all, very good. One thing I have noticed is with the stop start, I prefer to have it disabled. Oop, there we go. Bit of torque there in first gear. The thing about the start stop is when you're slowing down, it almost cuts itself off even though you're about to put your foot down again. So it momentarily it feels like the car is stalling, but it isn't. Just something to note. Refinement, it's a 3-cylinder, so when you're idling you do feel a slight bit of vibration in the cabin. It's not excessive though.
Certainly not very noisy at all.
No, not at all. And that's the other thing about this car, it is whisper quiet, especially if you're in a high gear, just cruising along. It's very well refined in here, isn't it?
It is.
There's no excessive road noise on the motorway or anything like that. Unless it's the M25 and that's like driving down the building site anyway.
Wait.
Bit like this.
Oh yes, I was going to say, slightly rough. Is that seriously going for it?
It was going to go and overtake me in the middle of Carnforth, and then suddenly realised at the last minute I'm sat in a traffic queue. Ah, fellow Vauxhall!
No!
The engine's nice and peppy. You can join a motorway dual carriageway very easily. It'll happily go along on an A road at various speeds, and the one thing I really like is the gear changer doesn't nag you to change gear. One thing Annabelle and I both love is the sound of it. The thing about a 3-cylinder is they sound rorty anyway, but this...
That was...
Ooh, an AX!
Was it? I was going to say, that's a nice
That's a rare
growl.
car. Yeah.
That's a nice throaty growl.
Well, that was a throaty growl. It even wheel spun into second as well, so you've got the torque. You can have a lot of fun in this car. And did you notice, even when I did that kind of evasive manoeuvre, it didn't become unhinged at all, it just took it.
No, and as a passenger, I was still very well planted in terms of very little body roll.
You didn't
during
get thrown,
manoeuvres.
did you?
No, not at all.
About 35, if I put my foot down in third, you have to... It's literally maybe, I don't know, 0.2, 0.3 of a second, but just be aware of it. I like that because I can almost spool the turbo with my foot and keep going it, but that's me. But the majority of people don't buy an Astra to drive it like I would.
Really?
So in everyday use. Steering, it does feel quite weighted, to be honest.
We don't want flighty steering, do you?
It's also a lighter vehicle as well, which makes it far more nimble. Pulling away is nice and easy. If you're wanting to get a faster start, you will have to give it more revs, but do expect a bit of wheel spin.
A lot.
The suspension is a mix of comfort yet plantage, shall we say. So it offers an engaging drive, but it's still comfortable too. So even if you hit, say, something like this grid, it's just a if you hit bigger potholes, yes.
I think that can be said for most things though, isn't it?
But if I drop to second gear and like kind of floor it around this corner, it still goes around the corner like it's on rails. As for responsive steering, if I literally do this, it grips and it just turns. So you can have a lot of fun on a back road in this. And the 1.2 isn't underpowered in the slightest, and the turbo does make it very entertaining.
Safety. I'm going to interject here because my favourite feature is it tells you on the cluster how far away you are from the car in front. So do you remember as you were being taught to drive, only a fool ignores the 2-second rule?
What? That is not the saying. It's only a fool breaks the 2-second
no, see, I was taught differently. Is that bit on the cluster where it gives you the distance of how many seconds you are behind the car in front. It is literally that in digital form on your cluster. Love it.
Yeah, it's quite clever, isn't it?
It makes you more aware as a driver that you really should be leaving more of a gap if sometimes you don't.
It would make sense to roll this out to every car, to be honest, because it shows you how close people follow each other, especially on motorways at, say, 70.
Well, it's one of the first things you taught me. Make sure you leave a decent gap.
Well, it's the first thing that you learn about defensive driving, isn't it?
That's it. Well, that's it.
You've got all-round disc brakes with the front being vented. Also an electronic handbrake, hill hold assist. This vehicle also comes with lane keep assist with lane departure warning. An anti-dazzle interior mirror. You have automatic headlamps, they're LED. You also have front and rear parking sensors, but that's an option. Annabelle's now going to list a few of the standard features and the options that we have on this car, because this one costs £26,210.
It comes with multimedia Navi Pro system with an 8-inch colour touchscreen. DAB, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, 6 speakers as I said before. The sound system is pretty good. So the optional extras on this car are a steel emergency spare wheel, that's £110. Emergency call function, £415. It's got front and rear parking sensors, as Ben mentioned before. That's an option of £480. The heated windscreen is £320. Traffic sign recognition and pedestrian protection is £275. And the premium hot red paint is £655. Now I'm in the driving seat, it's very comfortable, great driving position, it's peppy too. The steering's heavy but not overly so, and there's performance. And talking of the power, there's lots of it when you need it. It's engaging, responsive, but as Ben mentioned, there is a little bit of lag with the turbo, but the economy, especially when I'm driving, is great.
We're at our destination, aren't we, Annabelle? Should we do a roundup?
We should. It's a great car, it does tick a lot of boxes.
Handles well. It gives great economy. It'll do 137 miles an hour. It's well refined in here, soft touch plastics, leather wrapped steering wheel. The gearbox feels great. The performance is there. The Astra has been going for 40 years for a good reason. It's good.
Yeah. It's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
With a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, coupled with a 6-speed manual gearbox, the Astra delivers 225 Nm of torque and goes from 0 to 60 in 8.8 seconds. There are 7 trims in the range, with prices starting at just under £19,000. This one here is the Elite Nav and costs just over £26,000 with options. Features available include alloy wheels, a heated steering wheel, rain-sensing wipers, matrix LED headlights, ventilated massaging front seats that are also heated and are heated in the back, sat-nav, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to name but a few. Options available include park assist, a heated windscreen and traffic sign recognition. With 40 years of history, the Astra hatchback remains one of the most economical compact cars on the road, giving you up to 51 miles to the gallon, and this one is even better for the environment.